What's up, my friends? We back here on Walk Talk and welcome. Today, my special guest is who? Paschal Collins. Who is Paschal Collins? Tell everybody who are you, what you do,
well,
where you're from, where you're born. Present yourself for the public.
Who am I? Paschal Collins is actually, my real name is Paschal Collins, or Paschal Collins. Frank Buglione, he christened me Paschal. I'm a professional boxing coach, formerly professional boxer, brother of two-time world champion, first two-time Irish world champion Steve Collins, the Celtic Warrior, hence the name of my gym, Celtic Warriors Gym. I come from Dublin. We're in Dublin, Cordove Shopping Centre. Yeah, that's me. I'm Paschal Collins.
So guys, Packie is my boxing coach, and he actually improving my box so much for the last we trained for 2 years?
2 years now, yeah.
I came in here like just pure aggressive and boom, boom, boom. I just know how to punch, but getting caught all the time, because I don't have much defense back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And then I started tidy up. And today you're gonna see what's gonna happen in my next fight. Gonna smash.
Well, the thing is, Johnny.
So tell them when I come here, like what they look like. I look at amateur, bro. I was already on the top 10 UFC fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how to defend myself.
Well, I never met you, but I heard about you. I heard Johnny Walker. I didn't realise Johnny Walker was a big 6'5" Brazilian, because Johnny Walker's like a Scottish name, Johnny Walker Whiskey. I heard so much about Johnny Walker, great fighter, UFC. Never saw you fight. Don't really watch UFC much. I haven't watched UFC unless I have a reason to watch. Similar to boxing. If I don't have a fighter who's got a fight coming up, I don't watch boxing. So I heard so much about Johnny Walker. I got a call from Coach Kavanagh, John Kavanagh, and he asked, could Johnny come up and spar Thomas Carty, because you were fighting Hill.
Yeah.
Was it Hill you fought?
No. It was after Hill, I think.
No, it wasn't. It was the Hill fight.
But I wasn't training with you. I wasn't training with you yet.
What I'm saying is, when you first came here.
If I was training with you already, the fight's going to be different. Would be.
Who knows?
100%.
Who knows? The thing was, right, when you came here forced to spar for the Hill fight, 2 weeks out from the Hill fight, to spar Thomas Carty, who in my eyes is a really, really good fighter with potential of becoming a great fighter, but he's also a southpaw, big strong man, big puncher. And then to put you in with Thomas Carty, at that time, Thomas was a novice. 2 years ago, probably 2 fights. I was in the corner saying, Thomas, pull the punches, don't hurt him. He fights in 2 weeks. I was afraid Thomas would hurt you, not because anything to do with you. Your defense was so bad. You were moving the wrong way, for starters. When I went there, I spoke to your team in the concert. Listen, lads, he's moving the wrong way to fight southpaw. When does he fight? 2 weeks. So it was too late to do anything. But I wasn't your coach, so I wasn't getting involved. The following week, you went off to Vegas. The following week after that, we were in Scotland. And I inquired, because you'd been training at my gym, how you got on. And you got stopped. The fight, you were beaten. You got caught with a good shot. And that was it. That was the last I heard. Then your coach, John, good friend of mine, John, he called me up and said, Packie, would you maybe work with Johnny? And my response to everybody is, okay, I got to meet him first. I got to like him. I don't care about money or success. I just got to like the person. If I like the person, I will put my time and energy into them, because I want them to succeed. Not for me, for you. And 2 years on, we're 4-0, are we? 4-0, 4 fights, 3 fights?
Three in a row.
3 fights, 3 top 10 fighters, two top finishes. And in my eyes, you schooled Anthony Smith. You actually schooled him. You could have finished him. You know you could have finished him, but you made it look easy. So Johnny Walker now to Johnny Walker 2 years ago is a different beast. And not because I'm a better coach than anybody else. I know more than other people, because I train with really good coaches in the US. So I'm just passing on my knowledge to you. And actually, the easy part with you, Johnny, is you're an intelligent person, quite clever, and you pick up easy. You learn really quickly. So a lot of it has got to do with you
I like
too.
to be coached, If you teach something, then I feel that's not useful for me, I wouldn't be here. So I'm here. I want to absorb everything you have, because you teach him the things that actually works, and I've been doing the training and on the fights and everything's like, it's happening good, so it's working. So let's keep working and improve every day.
It's working. It's working because I ask you to do something, you do it. You also ask me questions. Sometimes I ask you to throw a certain punch and you might question me. What if I try it this way? Which is good, you ask questions. And that's why it works. It works because not everything I'll show you. And I'm not trying to show you anything, I'm only trying to, I remember making a comment to John Kavanagh once about your defense is leaky. You got a leaky defense. And that's the one thing I noticed about you straight away. You've got so many attributes. You're a great athlete. You're big, you're strong, you hit really hard. You're brave. You're probably one of the bravest fighters that's come into my gym. Really are so brave. Probably to your own detriment. Nothing scares you. You're next to my own brother and one or two other fighters I've had in this gym the last 10 years. You're one of the bravest fighters that's been here. That's part of your success so far. You're not afraid to try something new.
That's the G, right?
And
if you're scared, people are scared that you should do something, they're never gonna do because the fear hold them back to try. While they try, they get there and they say, wow, it was easy.
Well, in my opinion, if you're scared, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
You really are in the wrong business.
But what I'm saying, not just about fight, it's about everything in life.
Course.
To open a business, to be
Course.
successful in something.
Of course.
To go to talk to a girl, maybe she could be your future wife. You know, to open a business, to invent some products. Like, if you're scared of fear what people are gonna think about you, you're never gonna succeed, you're never gonna get there. You're gonna have that doubt inside you. Like, fear is something that you hold you down. Of course, you have to use your fear in your way, so I don't face things hard as a fear. Like, I know I can get knocked out, but I don't give a fuck. I go there. If I have good defense, I'm gonna protect myself. Same way on business. I know my business can be failure, but I have to try. At least I try one day. Like I said, at least I try, because if you don't try, you're gonna have that doubt in your mind. Like, if I try, maybe I could be very successful in that business. You know, same thing on fight. If I never try, I could win the title shot if I train hard. No, I make sure that I do the best, work hard, because do that and do my best. At least I'm gonna say, I try my best.
Yeah.
If it don't happen, fuck it, I try my best,
Yeah.
you know?
And you take ownership of what happens. You take ownership. You don't blame other people. You take ownership of what happens to you. You go back to the drawing board when you have a defeat. And the last defeat was Hill, Southpaw. You've been training and sparring with Thomas Carty for 2 years now with a Southpaw. You literally have had better education than any other fighter for the last 2 years sparring a top Southpaw. And this fight is a Southpaw. And he's a Russian kid, good amateur, style, you know, counter right hand. But you've seen this for the last 2 years, Johnny. And you, to me, when I first met you, you were like a top of the range speedboat with a leak. And sometimes you're going to sink because you got a leak. And your defense was your Achilles heel. You had a leak in that defense. And the last 2 years we've repaired that leak. Now you got this speedboat that shouldn't sink. And I believe that there's very few fighters that can beat you, providing you stay switched on. Forget about the crowd. Don't worry about people. When you get into that octagon, do what you have to do. Listen to your coach, whether it's me or whether it's John Kavanagh. If you listen to your coach, stick with your game plan, there's nobody that can beat you right now, in my eyes. I can't see that.
Just keep myself hands up, switch on, active all the time. There's a connection when you're fighting, right? And you can't think about nothing else. Like your problems, your wife, your kids, whatever, fuck it. When you close the gate, you just have one business to do. Fuck everything else, right? And focus on that. And it's gonna be easy because we've been doing it for so long to be ready for that shit. So just go and do your job. Have 15 minutes. I think it's so little time. 15 minutes.
I always say, first round, win the first round. Gotta win the first round. You don't win the first round, you gotta win the next two. There's pressure on you straight away. Don't wait, you know. Go out there, take control. When you first came to me, you kept talking about overhand right and certain punches. certain punch that you got caught with before. You spoke to me. Now you don't talk like that.
I don't care.
You don't talk like that. Now you got your game plan. Let who you fight be concerned with what you're going to do. You're no longer concerned what anybody else does. You don't have to be. You got your game plan. Whatever comes your way, you can deal with it. You know, and the reason is because for the last 2 years you've been fighting. But even when you haven't been fighting, you've been training. You've been learning. A few little niggles, injuries, you couldn't train. You still came and you still learned. And you've educated yourself good. It's and because you're an intelligent guy, your English has got so much better. You understand me now.
Yeah.
When you first come here, I don't think you
Okay.
understand me that good, but now you're speaking good English, and it's been a pleasure working here with you.
Thank
It's
you.
been really, it's a pleasure. Yeah, sometimes
It's gonna be a little bit longer journey, and it's gonna be way more fun, I promise. But it's
the
nice.
journey is the important part. Fighting is irrelevant. It's the journey, it's the people you meet. You got a great team. Jay, John Kavanagh, Coach Roach, you know, your buddies doing the camera work, and Tara, I mean, they say behind every great woman, every great man is a great woman. That is true with Tara, because I've seen her firsthand, what she does for you. Now, my wife done the same when I was a fighter. She wouldn't tidy up after me like you. You're messy. You know, she's like your mother.
Yeah,
but
she's
you're so
looking after
lucky.
me like a little big baby for her.
You are a big baby till you step into the octagon. You're a different person then, and that's what I like about you. Outside the octagon, you're a nice guy. Maybe sometimes too nice. Maybe sometimes a little bit easygoing. You know, that will change with experience. But in the octagon, you're a beast, an absolute beast. And I love that about you because you're brave. You know, I see fighters in the gym. You know, they do all the talk, and you know, they can beat people up and they can do all that shit. And then they step into the ring and they're like, not with you. You do it in the gym and you do it in the octagon, and I love that about you. And there's very, very few fighters who reach the top because they don't believe in themselves, because they're nervous to get beat. You're not nervous to get beat. You go out to win. If you lose, you learn. You come back stronger and more educated. You can only get so strong. You've always been strong. You've always been ready. You've always been ready, but you weren't educated enough. You're getting educated now. You're traveling the world. You go to Thailand. You go up there to do your Muay Thai. You're with great coaches here. You travel the world. You take advice from people. Even when you went to in America to train with Anthony Smith's old coach, you picked up Nebraska. You went to Nebraska. You pick up some new stuff there too.
Yeah.
So you've been working towards
like
this.
a sponge. You have to be like a sponge.
Absolutely.
Absorb everything that is good for you. If it's not good, I try to get something good from there to absorb just the piece that I really need, you know.
Sure. And you come from a poor background. You do.
I know the value of
you
stuff.
You come from a poor background.
I know the value.
And listen, there's very few fighters that are hungry fighters. A lot of fighters, UFC fighters, they're not hungry. They don't have to fight to pay bills. I know you're a hungry fighter. When I lived in America in the 80s, as a kid, my brother, most guys from Brockton and Mexico that was in our gym, they were hungry. They had no money. They barely had enough money to feed themselves. And I know that was the same for you. And that's what makes you a dangerous fighter.
Many people don't know, but when I was young, like I was 8 or 10, between 8 or 10, you know, like me, my mom, and my stepdad.
Yes.
Like he was unemployed. You know? Nobody
Yes.
had money. Like we had to do something to make money. So me, my mom, and my stepdad went to the streets, right?
Yes.
With a little, you know, the little car that you
Yes.
pull like this, to find on the streets, to clean the street, to get like papers and
Yes.
can, like aluminium, to pick
To
up
sell.
material, to sell, to buy food and to pay the
Yeah.
bills, electricity, you know, like. I did a lot of stuff like that to make money. We have no way to make money. We find a way. We do something, you know.
But remember something, your mom and your stepdad, they were part of this, and it stopped you getting involved with gangs and drugs and guns, and that's why you're here now, because of what your mom and your stepdad done. And I see how you are with your mom, and you're hungry because you want to take good care of your mother. Yeah. You want to give back, and that's why you're a dangerous fighter. And I say it all the time. In the boom nowadays, the boom we had 20 years ago has made a lot of kids soft now. You know, I don't mean physically soft, but mentally soft. But you're different. You're a hungry fighter, and you're a dangerous fighter. And that's why a lot of these Russians still are dangerous fighters, because they have nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of the Brazilians have nothing. And this is why you're so good. This is why you have the will to win. And this is why when we say, do this and you will win, you do it. Because you don't want to lose.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose.
It's a hard fight. It's a hard life for fighters at the beginning of their career. Most of the fighters, as you said, they're humble people. They come from humble place, not much money, so they go behind their dream. No, they don't have no sponsorship, no money to buy food or supplements or good equipment they wear to train. Like, so everybody's like really hungry, like the young guys when they come, you know. I know what you say about the fighters that they have lots of things, you know, when they live in a better place, like America, some people in UK, some fighters that they have everything, you know. And when they face somebody that have nothing,
well,
it's another history, you know?
When you were a kid, there was no social welfare system in Brazil like we have here. Nobody in Ireland goes hungry. If you're not getting social welfare, there's food banks, and there is some people on the poverty line. But I'm talking about a lot of the athletes nowadays. They don't have to fight to pay their bills or to feed their family. They can get a job to do that. But when you were growing up, your parents had no jobs. So your parents and you were on the street looking for anything just to feed yourself.
Yeah.
And you notice, like, you've been there. You don't want to go back there.
No.
And when you're in the trenches and it gets hard, you go, you know what? I'm not going back there.
I don't give a fuck. This is why what I find so hard to take these few days off now, because I want to work harder. I know I need to recover. I was a little bit sick. My throat was a little bit inflamed. I need to sit down and recover, but I don't know how to stop and do nothing.
Well, you see, the secret is don't stop and do nothing. Remember, training can also be practice. It doesn't have to be physically hard. You don't have to get a sweat up. It doesn't stop you practicing. You can stand in the ring for 12 rounds and you can practice. You can 1-2 roll, catch, roll, hook. Your brain doesn't know whether you're training hard or not. But what you're doing is, it's affirmation of combination. So you can keep throwing these combinations over, without getting a sweat up, without working hard. It's over, combination. And then what happens is the brain, it gets stored in the brain. When the punch comes, move, roll, bam, you go, where did that come from? That comes from practice. So now, 2 weeks out, you'd still train, but you've got a, like revision of an exam. You study all year long, you go through all your studies, you revise what's important. And that's the same with being in the gym, coming up to fight week, you still train, you still practice, but not hard. It's more just practice. Revision of all the exercise you've been working on. And I know John Cabinet does the same with you too. Coach Cabinet, revision, revise, affirmation. That's all you got to do, Johnny, because you've been here constantly for the last 2 years. You're here always. Yeah. Even in between fights, to say, take time out, no, you still turn up. And that's what I like about you. And that's why one day, remember, my brother was a 2-time world champion. I remember when he fought for his first world title. It came early in his career. He fought one of the best champions of the era and pushed him all the way because he wanted it. My brother in the 80s was a hungry fighter because he was hungry then, and I know what hunger looks like. He had a wife and kids, very little money. And he didn't want them coming back to the poverty line of Ireland in the 80s, which is what we had. And this is what you are now. And I know you probably feel you have to push yourself even this week, but you don't. You stay in the gym. My brother stayed in the gym. You practice. And up here, you know, you've done everything you can to be successful. And you will be successful. You know, we don't have a crystal ball to say it's going to be this time It will be this time, maybe this time. Nobody knows. You work hard, you do your best. If it's enough, you win. If it's almost enough, you may win, you may not win. If it's slightly not enough, you lose. You go back to the drawing board and then you win. But the most important thing is you turn up to win. And remember, your opponent will feel the same. He will, they come across these Russian guys, they come across that we're invincible, we're beatable. They're not. They're like you and me. They're flesh and blood like you and me. They have their own problems. They got a war going on in Russia and Ukraine. You may not see on the TV that a lot of these people are affected by it, but they are affected. So he has his issues too. But with you just focus on the win. And if it's enough, you win. And you train hard, if it's enough, you win. And no matter whatever the result in anything you do in life, whether it's boxing, whether it's mixed martial arts, whether it's even going to do a little interview, you can only do your best. And in this gym, you've always done your best. And I respect you so much for that. I really respect you. And you've never said no to anything I've asked you. Never. You never said no. I mean, when you first sparred Thomas Carty, he was hurting you with shots. You didn't care. You said, I want to get better than him. You told me that from the start. And I'll tell you what, you're getting close, Johnny. I believe when you become UFC champion, you can do what all the other guys are doing. I believe you can compete as a boxer too. I really believe that. And I believe you're that good.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, yeah.
Listen.
And then you make your money. Win the belt, then make your money.
Yeah,
and take care of your family. Take care of your mom, your stepdad, and your little nephew. Take care of them all. Yeah. Get them out of there. Yeah. Set them up for a new life.
That's the plan.
That's what life's about. That's why you're doing it. You're doing it to take care of other people who took care of you. Yeah. And I know that, and I see that about you, because you're a very kind person. When we were in Rio de Janeiro, and there was a family outside, nobody wanted to know about 3 a.m. in the morning. They stood outside the hotel, and we came back from the venue, and security was pushed away. You took them into the hotel. Yeah. I watched that, and I'm like, wow.
I bought pizza for them and stuff.
Johnny, I seen how you took care of the parents and the kids, and they sat with you, and they looked at you because you were once them. You actually were once them, and I seen that, and I thought, oh my God, that to me means more than any belt. How you took care of them people, and I know you're still taking care of them.
Have to be.
I know you're that same family. I know you're taking care of them still.
We bring nothing to our coffin. Everything stay here.
Absolutely.
Money, fame. So what stay is how you treat people, how people are gonna remember of you, how they're gonna tell your history. This is gonna stay.
Of course.
Money, luxury stuff is all gone when you die. What
your
stays
legacy.
is the good memory, the
your
legacy that you build.
Your legacy. Your legacy will be partly as UFC champion, but mainly what you did as UFC champion. Because once you become famous, people try and pull you down, and they look for faults. But when you become UFC champion, I know you do good things. And good things for a lot of people, especially your own family. Take care of your family and your new family. But I saw what you did with that young family in Brazil, and my God, you were up there, and then you went right up there. And I thought, I want this guy now to be UFC champion. I want you so you can help other people.
Of course.
And you will.
That's the plan. Talking about training hard.
Yes.
You've trained the guy that beat Mike Tyson.
Kevin McBride, yes.
Tell a little bit about the history.
Well, me and Kevin McBride go back a long way. We boxed amateur together. And I think around the early 90s, 1991, we boxed an amateur show in Kevin's hometown, Clones, Monaghan. And then the following year, Kevin went on to fight the Olympic Games in Barcelona. In '93, I moved to America, and Kevin moved to the UK. And he started his career as a professional boxer in the UK. I started my career as a professional boxer in the US. But it wasn't as easy to keep in touch then because there was no social media.
So he used to train with you, like you start the career together?
Sorry?
He usually to train with you, so you start the career together, kind of.
Well, we knew each other.
Like he's big.
Oh, he's bigger than you.
Yeah, he's big and
he's
heavy.
He's about 6'7", and he weighs about 130 kg.
130
130
kg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But we knew each other as amateur boxers, and then I lived in America. And Kevin had a career in the UK, and then he had a couple of losses. So one day he went to my brother Steve in Dublin and told me, I had a talk with my brother Steve, said I want to go move to America. So my brother Steve called me up, goes, Packie, I'm here with your buddy Kevin McBride, he wants to go to the US, box professional. So he called up Goody Petronelli, who was our coach at the time. He asked Goody Petronelli if he wanted to come out. I spoke to Goody. I told Goody that Kevin was a good fighter, a nice kid, and he's a nice kid, we're the same age, like, but nice guy. And Kevin moved to America, and then we lived together for a number of years. I moved home for a short time to buy a house and maybe move my career back to Ireland. That lasted 3 years. I moved back to America, moved back in with Kevin, and then we basically were training together with the Petronellis, and then one day we were boxing the same card. 2 weeks out, I was training Kevin every day. We were running together. I was taking care of his food. I was bringing him to the guy doing weights, and we're still training with Goody Petronelli at the time. I was training in Brockton. And then I got a bad cut in my eye, clash of heads. I was off the card. Kevin asked me would I continue to help him get ready, and I did. He went and he won. He had a really good win, Foxwoods Casino. 2 weeks after that, he called me up and says, would you train me if I got a fight with Mike Tyson? Will you come on board and continue training me? I was like, sure. I never really was becoming a boxing coach, but I said, sure, I'll do it. I was still planning on fighting myself. So the first week we stayed at home, and we lived in Boston. We trained in Brockton, about 40 minutes outside Boston. And the first week was a nightmare because Kevin never turned up on time. He was going missing. He was, doing whatever he'd done. So I said to Kevin,
this was the last Mike Tyson professional fight?
This was the Mike Tyson fight. This was training for Mike Tyson.
But he was the last Mike Tyson fight?
Oh yeah. Well, Mike Tyson.
He actually retired, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson retired, yeah. And we trained for 8 weeks for the fight. Got him into the best shape of his career. We went out to Washington, D.C. We went to a press...
When was it?
2005.
2005.
June 11th, 2005. We went to the fight. Tyson was in good shape. Really good coach, Jeff Fennick. I remember going to Mike Tyson's locker room before the fight to watch his hands get wrapped, to make sure there was no tape on the knuckle, nothing illegal. And I remember we're sitting there watching, and next of all we got a knock on the door. And who walks in? Muhammad Ali.
He was there?
Muhammad, I'm sitting there. I'm literally, you're Mike Tyson, his coach is there. I'm watching his hands get wrapped, and Muhammad Ali walked in. Now I'm supposed to be watching you and be really serious, but inside I'm excited because Mike Tyson, Jeff Fennick was a great boxer too, and Muhammad Ali. So I stood up and we spoke for 20 minutes, and then I was late getting back to my locker room. And Kevin asked me, he said, Packie, he says, you're very long down there. And I says, yeah, Mike Tyson's hands are shaking. They couldn't wrap him. He goes, what? I says, yeah, if you couldn't wrap his hands, they're shaking. I said, he's nervous. You're gonna win. You're definitely gonna win. And all of a sudden, Kevin stood up, picked up the grease, started fixing his hair, started flexing his chest, waving the flag. All of a sudden, he believed he's gonna beat Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson was shaking his hands. But that wasn't true. I was late because Muhammad Ali was in the locker room. And Kevin went out. The game plan to fight Mike Tyson at the time. My brother Steve,
Mike wasn't nervous.
Mike's never nervous. Mike's never nervous.
You just tell your fight that Mike was nervous,
Mike
so you're gonna win. He's shaking his hand.
Kevin was nervous. Of course he'd be. Mike Tyson, baddest man on the planet. But when I told Kevin,
and then you give a little bit fuel to be like confidence.
I told Kevin Mike Tyson's hands were shaking. Kevin will tell you that his hands are shaking. They couldn't wrap them. It's like
this is why it takes so long.
It wasn't true. Anyway, but the game plan to fight was to anytime you get in close, because you're so big and heavy, Tyson gets on, lean into him, put your body weight on him. And over the 6-7 rounds the fight went on, Kevin would do this. Tyson started tiring a little. Kevin started landing big shots, leaning into him, and Tyson's legs just, and at that time, when the fight ended, Mike had enough. He didn't want to do it anymore. I believe his last couple of fights he didn't want to do it anymore. He kind of had to do it because his investment, he never made investments with his money. And that's a sad state of affairs with a fighter like Mike Tyson, who in my eyes was one of the top 5 heavyweights of all time. And I've included Rocky Marciano, Muhammad Ali, like even Larry Holmes and Joe Frazier, great fighters like that. Even today, you look at the modern day fighters, Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, but until they retire and years down the road, whether you can, you know, compare them with Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson, in his prime, would have beat any of them, I believe. At that time, and by the way, Kevin at that time was an alcoholic. Kevin's an alcoholic. When I say was, he is. He'll always be an alcoholic. He doesn't drink anymore. I think he's like 10 years sober. He goes to his meetings and it's great for him. He's, you know, Kevin was such a nice guy. Kevin, you remind me of Kevin. Kevin was kind. He was so kind. And when I trained Kevin, when I helped train Kevin for the Tyson fight, I remember the conversation we had. I didn't want payment. I said, Kevin, don't pay me. Just give me your all. Give me your all because I want you to win. Give me your all. There's people who make jokes about Kevin in the coffee shops in Boston, you know, make jokes about him getting beat, and I used to hear people would laugh at him behind his back. We went to a hotel. We lived in a hotel room, the same room for 8 weeks, me and Kevin. And he went through hell. Everything I asked, he'd done. Everything I asked you to do, you do. We went to watch a movie the night before we fought Mike Tyson called The Cinderella Man. The Cinderella Man was about a guy called oh my God, I can't think of his name right now, but he literally, his career was over. He had to come back to get money for his family. It was during the Depression of the 20s in the US. He came back to win a heavyweight championship of the world. And I said to Kevin, boxing movie, great, true story. And I said to Kevin, that's you. You're the Cinderella Man now. When you go to fight Mike Tyson tomorrow, and this was the day before, film premiere, the day before we went to Mike Tyson, you're the new Cinderella Man. I said to Kevin, and he became the Cinderella Man because he beat the baddest man on the planet. Kevin, who's an alcoholic, who had his losses, who'd been through so much turmoil in his life, tough times, put the work in. He did what he was asked. He put the work in. We travelled to the Petronellis with Goody, spent time with Goody, we were sparring. Me and Kevin went running together. He'd done his weights. We'd done pad sessions. He watched his diet. Everything that was asked for them 8 weeks, coming up to the Mike Tyson fight, he did it. And that's why he was successful. And that's why I say to you, whatever's asked of you, do what's asked of you. By myself, or whether it's by John Kavanagh, or whether it's Jay at the Abs gym, whatever people ask of you, and you do it. And no complaints, you don't complain. You know, and I see sometimes you carry an injury, but you still do it. Because I asked you to do it. And it reminds me of Kevin, big man. I like training the big guys. And I honestly believe this is going to be the same journey. The end to the same journey, the success at the end.
I'm not going to be alcoholic.
No, but imagine he did it. But he did it being out.
But he's sober now.
Kevin's sober now, yeah.
But while they was on the training camp, he was drinking.
No, he wanted to drink.
I watched one documentary once with Tara that one Russia girl, she's like 16, she's doing like ice skating, right?
Yes.
She was alcoholic, 16 years old, and she killed herself because she got depressed. Like, it's crazy. Yes. Alcoholic is so bad.
You know,
alcohol.
Kevin.
She was drinking while she's supposed to be training. She started winning. She went to the Olympics and stuff, and she started drinking, and she started missing the training. Like no performance better as she was before because the alcohol.
Of course.
It's crazy.
But I mean, there's been a lot of world champions, who be smoking and drinking up until become a world champion, and even when they're world champion, doing that, and sometimes that works. To an extent, sometimes it works, and I've seen it. I mean, if you go back in the old days, John L. Sullivan, them guys would drink while they're training, and they go out and fight 50 rounds. And that's why I believe the mindset is so important. I'm not saying go drink and smoke as long as you got a strong mind. No, if your mindset is where it should be, and your opponent's mindset is where it should be, and your skill set and your work rate is where it should be, and your opponents, well then what you got to do is you got to go, you know what, I got to do more than him to win. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You know,
But
and
imagine-
you have, because there's been times where we're trying to pull you back, saying, Johnny, you're doing too much. And you've never left anything to chance. And it's basically, you're ticking all the boxes when it comes to your career. Because it's a career, it's your future, you're ticking all the boxes. You do what you're asked to do. You eat, you've got a great dietitian, by the way, a great Tristan.
Yeah.
Great dietitian. I see, by the way, you know, he's probably got the easy part, because he sends you what to eat, what not to eat. I see what Tara does.
Yeah.
She prepares all that food.
Prepare.
She prepares all that food, you know, and you're so lucky to have her part of your team, because I believe you have a team now who you can trust.
Yeah.
You trust with your life. You trust with your life because
Yeah, just if I
We
trust my
ask
career,
you-
I'm trusting my life.
we ask you to do things and you do it. And here's the thing, Johnny. I pass on knowledge. As a fighter, I spent many years with Freddie Roach, one of the greatest trainers around. Freddie to me was not only a great trainer, Freddie was a great friend. We spent so much time in training camp together. We used to go eat together, and we go on walks, we go bowling, great training camps for 6 weeks at a time in Jersey, Channel Islands. And we became really close friends, and we'd have a laugh, but I trusted him. I actually trusted him. When Freddie told me to do something, I trusted him. Goody Petronelli, probably one of the greatest trainers of all time, trained the great marvellous Marvin Hagler, my brother Steve, Drake Tadsey, who beat James Toney, trained many world champs, Kevin McBride. I trusted Goody Petronelli. You have to trust them, because these guys have so much knowledge. Goody Petronelli was marvellous, was Rocky Marciano's best friend. They grew up together in Brockton. They had great, Goody had great experience and great journeys through his career too. He was also a medic in the Navy. So I learned from Goody Petronelli, and I learned from the great Freddie Roach. I learned from my brother Steve being in training camp. And all I'm doing is passing on knowledge to you. I look at you and I go, this is not what I want you to be, but here's what I see is wrong with you. And I try to fix it. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to fix that. And I think we're 90% there. I think, and 90% is enough to beat this guy. When you beat this guy and we get to 100%, you beat anybody. You'll not just be a one-time, I believe you'll be a two-time world champion.
What is there at 10% from?
You always have room to improve.
Yeah.
We'll always have room to improve. So your defense is good. Your defense, 100%. It's what comes after the defense. So with defense is offense. So every action is a reaction. If you catch a shot, you don't just catch a shot and let your opponent away with it. You don't. You catch a shot and you make him pay. And that's the 10%. So we know what we're going to do with a southpaw. We've got 2 or 3 different combinations we can throw to react. That's enough. But after this fight, we go back to the drawing board, we add more. We can add more to it. And that's always the 10%. You'll never be 100%. And even with me too, I'm still learning. I still look at other fighters and go, even all my years experience, even my brother trained with so many world champions, with great trainers, I still watch fights, the great fighters. I look at the likes of Canelo now. Every one of Canelo's fights looks so easy because he does the simple things really good. Really good. His defense is so good. Your defense is so good. You proved it against Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith, in my eyes, was a great striker. And I knew this was probably going to be our toughest fight that me and you worked together on. It was going to be our toughest fight. I actually thought it was one of your easiest fights. I really thought your defense was so good. You were stepping back, you were switching stance, catching shots, and countering on the move. You know, catching with hooks, switching stance, catching with hooks. So even when he had you backing up on defense, you're switching and catching them. And I thought, wow. You know, so
It's good.
yeah, so don't, when I say 90% improve, don't think, why not 100%? 90% is not to do your defense. Defense, 100% better, 200% better than what it was. But I'm talking about what comes after when you catch them shots, when you slip them shots, when you make a miss. We're going to keep adding to that. And you know, that's the 10%.
This is good.
All right?
Yeah.
Want to wrap it up?
So we're going to do a sparring now. Thomas.
You're going to spar Thomas Carty.
Thomas
This is
now.
your final hard day. Has he turned up now?
Not yet.
No.
So start
He's
warming
always
up.
late anyway. We
I
start
get
warming
late
up.
sometimes. The traffic is a little bit.
Well, actually, you
sometimes.
should be all right. You got your new car.
Yeah.
You got your new
Big hug for Tesla. Thank you for the car. It was nice car as a Model S. This shit is so fast, bro.
Yeah.
It's really fast.
And come here, how long does it take to charge?
I think I went to charge.
Right.
Was like 50%. I didn't went too low. And take like, I think 30 minutes or something.
Oh, really?
30 minutes, 1 hour max.
And how many kilometers do you get?
I think 400 kilometers.
400 for a full charge?
Yeah.
And what would a full charge cost?
So I don't know. Because I charged there, so it was for free. Because it was the car was.
So when you got off Telsa?
Yeah, I charged on Tesla, on the Tesla. Because the car.
So it doesn't cost you on the
Don't
drive?
cost me nothing.
It's kind of cool, isn't it?
It's good.
So Telsa, when you go to Abu Dhabi, get your big win, Telsa are going to do a long-term deal with you, right? You're going to be the European face of Telsa.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because think of it, Johnny.
I'm Elon Musk team now.
Because all the Brazilians too, not just in Ireland, and UFC fan base, all the Brazilians in Ireland. You know, so
It's a good one. It's a good sponsorship.
Great sponsorship.
Tesla, right? Hopefully they sign me up and then I
They
get
will.
the.
And a big shout out to Colin Mangan for setting you up.
Thank you, my friend, for setting me up.
Absolutely. We go do some training.
Yes. So guys, thank you, Packie, for coming to the walk talk today. I hope you guys enjoy. This is Paschal Collins, my boxing coach. He's a really good coach. He helped me a lot on my career. I'm getting really better. So he's one of the pieces that is going to help me to get to the right high level, to get the championship. And very soon, hopefully 2024, we can bring this belt to Ireland, right?
Oh, 24, definitely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. It's going to be next year. Definitely next year, get the belt. Oh, yeah.
Now I'm number 5 or 6, don't know, the hours change, but I'm going to fight the number 2, is Ankalaev, my next fight, in 2 weeks in Abu Dhabi, October 21st. And then he's number 2. Beat him, get his place. So the number 1, I think, is Jiri Prohaska. And the champion was Jamal.
Yeah.
So Jiri is going to fight against Pereira. So hopefully I get the winner of that.
Well,
so I'm going to be number 2. I'm the next in line for
the
that.
I'm thinking,
when I beat Ankalaev, of course.
What I'm thinking is, so you got one in New York, right? Who fights New York?
It's Jiri Prohaska. He's number 1 against Pereira, the Brazilian guy.
Pereira. Yeah. So this is like 2 semi-finals. Yeah. And the winner of both fight for the belt.
No, they are fighting for the belt already.
Oh, that's a Vega. Oh, they're fighting for the Vega belt.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, so this is a final.
I'm gonna get the winner. The winner is gonna be the champion. I bet the champ. I get the
final eliminator.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tesla. When Johnny Walker becomes champion UFC, myself and John Kavanagh probably want Tesla cars too, right? Well, I do anyway. Free charge, yeah. Let's do this. But take care of Johnny Walker first. Right, let's go to work, Johnny boy.
Thank you everybody for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, put this notification on so you can see when the next video coming up. Appreciate you guys that stay here until now. Hope you guys enjoy. Comment below what you guys think, what you guys want to see me doing next. Hope you guys enjoy, and God bless you all.